Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
We got the band back together.
We are, yes.
Yeah, we did the solo act for a while and it didn't work so well, so we're gonna get the band back together here.
I don't know. I thought I did okay.
Yeah, you did. You're Cher and I'm Sunny, and you did much better than I did. But no, we're gonna talk about AI. We're gonna talk about BuzzFeed. BuzzFeed replacing their journalists with AI, this ChatGPT creator to help create their quizzes and all the other garbage that they put on BuzzFeed. Now, somehow I missed this. This is like a week ago that the news broke. And the weird thing is they announced that they're going to replace their journos with chatbots, and their stock went up a little bit. That with the Facebook.
Oh, no.
You know, so it's kind of like, damn, that is not good, right? When your stock goes up, because you're going to use chat bots to generate clickbait on Facebook
instead of using your what don't they have didn't they have like a headline generator before?
Yeah, they do. All these, and we've talked about it before. Most of these blogs actually have headline generators. I don't know if I'd call AI necessarily, but it's like an SEO optimization program. And BuzzFeed said before they actually use that kind of stuff to do A/B testing to see which headline is going to generate the most clicks.
But now they're just writing the article too.
Now they're just writing the article too. So it's not just artists that have to worry about this. And I pulled this up because the AI art is getting freakishly good.
Well, you know, to my son's entrepreneur teacher that said AI has nothing to worry about, can bite me. It's like, hell it isn't.
Yeah, we're going to talk about this. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. Over 291, almost 292,000.
Yeah.
We're only like, we're less than 100 away, so hit the subscribe button. Please do that.
It's because I told Bob Iger to kiss my ass.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. So anyway.
I like the pirate ship one or the boat. I like that.
I know,
one.
look at this. Like this, I mean, seriously.
Yeah, but the sad thing is they stole other people's stuff to generate these.
Well, they claim they didn't, but it's just quote unquote learning. It's just learning. But some of the stuff is freakishly good, and give it a couple of years, because I remember when AI art was first announced, or at least I was aware of it a couple of years ago, and everything looked like a bad Picasso mishmash. And now the stuff's actually getting pretty good. And I can't imagine, 5 or 10 years from now where it's going to be. I'm not saying I agree with it. I don't agree with it, but it's here, and there's not much we can do about it. And it's not just artists that have to be concerned they're going to be competing with machines. It is also BuzzFeed journalists. So they laid off a whole bunch of journos. We talked about that last year. Everybody's laying off journos. CNN.
Are they all going to replace them with?
I'm wondering.
Well, I don't know. Would BuzzFeed can get away with it because CNN or the Washington Post? I hope not. You would think that you'd need people for...
Well, okay, BuzzFeed, because a lot of their stuff is like listicles.
That's what I'm saying. I can see them getting away with it. I just don't know if I can see, CNN or...
Yeah, I mean, look, if you're trying to give people like straight news, AI might get to the point where it just takes a whole bunch of reports, but then somebody has to report on it initially, right?
Right. They have to get it from somewhere.
But what they'll do is they'll take somebody else's initial report and probably just regurgitate it into, we're going to change it just enough so Google doesn't think it's... stolen or plagiarized or whatever. But a lot of the day-to-day grind, the stuff that BuzzFeed puts out, the listicles and the top 10 lists, apparently they're going to outsource that to AI. Now, BuzzFeed's saying, no, we're not replacing our journalists. Not at all. Guys, you don't have anything to worry about.
Well, what are they doing then?
They're saying, well, we're just helping journalists generate
But if
content.
You're helping journalists generate, quizzes aren't really journalism. But you're helping them generate quizzes. That's helping them. But then, why do you need them?
Right. Yeah. So look, this is what's probably going to happen. I think that the day-to-day stuff is going to get outsourced to chatbots or AI. I mean, if you're just doing like, hey, and there are tools out there, you actually can go out, you can subscribe to the tools. I actually played around with them before just to see if it was any good. It's not really that great yet, but again, we see how good the artwork has gotten in the last couple of years. But you can say, hey guys, I want to do an article like top 10 Disney rides or something, and it'll generate like an outline for you, and you might have to mess with it a little bit, but you can create content a lot faster. And a lot of times what it'll do is it'll say, hey, you put these tags in, you put this headline on it, it's going to get a lot more clicks.
Maybe we're looking at this the wrong way. They're probably looking at it in a way of thinking how much time we're going to save, because if we have a narrative and you have it in the hands of people, then someone might, not toe the line and not follow your narrative. But if you program the computer just to put out narrative, to control the information and the masses, you're not going to get any pushback.
People were talking about NPCs working for these news outlets. This literally will be NPCs.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying? It's going to be a lot easier to control the narrative when you don't have people, cockeying it up.
Well, that's just it. And, now you can good news, you can spend more time tweeting. You don't have to have that pesky job in the way, because the computer can just do it. But yeah, I mean, BuzzFeed listicles and top 10 lists are kind of trash anyway. So just outsource the crap. It doesn't really matter.
I can't hear listicles. It makes me think of testicles. I don't know. I'm sorry, but it does.
Oh, okay.
I don't know where to go with that.
Yeah. BuzzFeed to use ChatGPT creator OpenAI to help create quizzes and other content for now. They're trying to downplay it because, again, they just laid a bunch of people off. BuzzFeed's not doing well.
Let's rehash. So they went public, even though people said it was a bad idea. They didn't get the money they needed to, so their stock crashed. But while their stock was crashing, the people that worked there for years and had stock weren't allowed to sell their stock when it was high. So they ended up with stock that's pretty much worthless. And then they fired them, and now they're getting replaced with AI.
Yes. Do you see a pattern here? Because what's going to happen, and I hate to say it, and I don't want to see it happen, but for day-to-day art duties or card art or art for articles or whatever, AI is going to replace a lot of artists, and you don't have to deal with all those pesky emotions and stuff.
Some of those pieces are beautiful.
Yeah. Now I don't know if they were cannibalized from other people's stuff. Like
probably.
The octopus lady is really cool. But yeah, I don't know. So anyway, I do have to give a hat tip to Jackie, who was in the comments section of another video. It was like, why didn't you cover the BuzzFeed AI thing? I'm like, because I didn't know about it. I'd heard people were concerned about ChatGPT replacing journalists, but I did not know that BuzzFeed had already committed to using it.
Oh my God.
So yeah, BuzzFeed said it would rely on ChatGPT creator OpenAI to enhance, using finger quotes here, enhance quizzes and personalize some of its content for its audiences, becoming the latest digital publisher to embrace artificial intelligence.
Now, again, they laid off a bunch of people before they started using it, but they're like, oh no, we're not replacing people with it because we already did. It's like, we're not getting rid of anybody to replace them with this because we already fired people last year.
Yes.
So we're not getting rid of any more people right now.
Yes.
To replace them with this.
As it gets better, eventually it will be able to just generate clickbait whole cloth. You'll be able to tell it, hey, this is trending right now. Write me a story on this.
Well, some of these journalists are basically bots anyway, so I'm not really seeing how it's much of a difference.
Well, that's the truth. That's the thing. Like, they're not actually journalists. They're just cranking out clickbait anyway. In a memo staff sent Thursday morning, which was reviewed by the Wall Street Journal, Chief Executive Jonah Peretti said he intends for AI to play a larger role in the company's editorial and business operations this year. In one instance, the company said new AI-powered quizzes would produce individual results. I talked about this before, where eventually the technology is going to get so good, we're going to have the holodeck from Star Trek, where you're like, hey, I want to watch a movie, but you know what? I don't like Disney's Star Wars Episode 7. Could you actually, hey, TV, could you generate me a Star Wars Episode 7 with like Han, Luke, and Leia, but younger and good? Or maybe just take the Zahn books and turn that into a movie. Yeah, I'll come back in like 20 minutes when you have that rendered for me, and then I'll watch it myself.
Actually, I'd watch that.
I would.
A lot of people would watch that. That'd be a much better movie series.
But that's where we're getting to. We're getting to the place where eventually everything will be personalized. It'll be like, hey, make me a comic that has this, this, and this, and the computer will just kind of guess. On Twitch, they have Seinfeld. AI generated Seinfeld. I heard
about that.
And Squid King was showing it to me, and it's just like, it's ridiculous. I mean, it doesn't make a lot of sense, but the entire thing is generated via AI. And it's crude now, but you know what? Television was crude. Telephones were crude. Computers were crude.
Well, I was going to bring up the fact that they've been saying it, and several investor calls at Disney, and that was under Chapek, but I'm sure Iger, given that he was all into, the metaverse and all that, they were collecting data on people. So if you watched, Disney Plus, they were watching what you watched. If you were at the parks, they were seeing where you went. And basically what they were trying to do was see what you seem to prefer so they could personalize experiences more to you down the road.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I can see them totally using this, but, to find some way to mesh it so you can personalize things how you want. That's what it reminded me of, because Disney's already doing it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So Peretti expects AI to assist the creative process and enhance the company's content, while humans play the role of providing ideas.
So we have 5, instead of having 180 of you, we have 5 of you that type in.
Yeah.
What's the clickbait? What are the buzzwords today?
You're the batteries. See the Matrix? Yeah, you're the batteries. But that's exactly it, because AI is going to get to a point with content creation where what used to take a couple hundred people, and that's the same with movies, animated movies, and all that stuff. What used to take a couple hundred people could now be done with a skeleton crew and the help of AI. You basically just need somebody to oversee and tweak the results of the AI. Everything, voices now, animation. I mean, it's all going to be automated, and it's kind of scary. I mean, it really is kind of scary.
Well, here's how it ties in together. They said that, talking about it went public and everything else, and they said the company is getting paid millions of dollars by Facebook parent Meta Platforms, Inc. to help generate creator content for Facebook and Instagram. The Wall Street Journal reported Wednesday.
Yeah, and that's why their stock went up. But it
didn't go up very much.
No, it went up like $1. It was under $1, I think, at one point. So what gets me about this though is Facebook doesn't have extra money either. So Facebook and BuzzFeed clinging to each other, it's kind of like Sears and Kmart.
I'm kind of interested to see where this goes. I mean, I don't want it to be, I don't want people being replaced, but I want to see how far they take this.
BuzzFeed shares more than doubled in value Thursday, closing at a whopping $2.09. Remember when BuzzFeed was worth almost $10?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, stock remains down by over 75% since the company went public. BuzzFeed remains focused on human-generated journalism in its newsroom, a spokeswoman said Thursday.
Well, if people had kept their BuzzFeed stock or bought it at $1 or whatever it was, they could have doubled their money.
Yeah. After receiving Mr. Peretti's memo, a number of employees on Thursday expressed concerns and asked him questions on Slack about the implications of the move. Why do you have to ask him? That was like the Washington Post. Hey, we're firing a bunch of you next year. And now the Washington Post is reportedly going to be up for sale. You don't have to ask questions. Shit doesn't work anymore. The money's running out. And rather than pay you guys exorbitant salaries, they're paying these BuzzFeed writers like 6 figures to live in New York. It's like, nah, you know what? We can have a couple people we'll pay 6 figures. That they'll be the bot herders, And everybody else, you can go pump gas or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't care. I'm just concerned about the fact that, it's already, narrative is already an issue, but this cuts out the middleman so they could just, tell the public whatever they want the public to think. I mean, it's the propaganda machine to the umpteenth power.
Oh, yeah. I mean, who's to say? I mean, look, we saw what happened with Twitter, right? The government was meddling in Twitter and trying to get the message out. Who's to say that if it gets to the point where all content, all news, all entertainment is generated by computer, we don't have a government bureau set up to just, punch in some prompts and be like, this is today's message, everybody.
And if it's getting better and better and better at fabricating art, what's to say it can't fabricate photos, fabricate video evidence, fabricate things to trick the public into thinking something happened or didn't happen when it actually did or didn't. You know what I mean?
Ever see The Running Man?
Long time ago.
Yes, they fabricated.
Yeah, like crime. That.
Yes.
That's where. When does it go to that? When does somebody hack in and just it'd be so funny if they started relying on this and then somebody hacked it and then all the BuzzFeed articles started coming out like your mom. I was like 10 ways to know if you have a penis. Things like that.
Oh my god. We've done experimentation in the past with AI images, and we recognize these concerns and take them seriously. Peretti wrote in response, according to the BuzzFeed spokeswoman. He also said the initial step in BuzzFeed's plan was to use AI for text-based products, but that is primarily their product. Other employees asked...
they apparently own Tasty and sex toys.
Are they
gonna... Not to be confused.
Can you imagine if BuzzFeed used AI to design sex toys? How many fingers would they have?
What?
Did you ever see AI art? It's got like a whole bunch of fingers. Like they can't get hands right.
No.
So this thing would have, they'd be like some people might be into that. It'd be like, yeah, this is like the 12-fingered feel you up toy for $20. And then we 3D print it.
What?
And then we slap Tasty on it.
No.
Okay. Anyway, that's their best.
What's wrong with you?
If they went public with that plan, that we would have a multi-fingered AI art 3D printed sex toy, they probably would make more money than.
Why are you? Just go back to the point.
The point is, everybody's replaceable. And also AI art is bad at hands.
And it's apparently great at replacing all the people they laid off to do listicles.
Yes. Could you imagine if the prompt was listicle? What you'd probably get for AI art? I should try that sometime. You might get some really interesting results on that. Yeah, so other employees asked about whether the use of AI technology would lead to a reduction in workforce and expressed concerns around fact-checking AI-generated content.
See, like I'm saying.
You don't fact-check anything anyway, BuzzFeed. What are you talking about?
True, why do you care now?
In response, Mr. Peretti wrote that the tools are an opportunity to make full-time employees more efficient and creative, not a workforce reduction strategy.
They already got rid of 180 people.
Bullshit. Bullshit.
Help us make this better. Help us train this so we don't need you anymore.
No, right? No, that new machine with the robot arms, yeah, it's not taking your job there, Mr. Welder. Not at all.
I mean, it's like, you know, it always sucked that, I mean, that you had to train your replacement. Sometimes you train somebody and you have to turn to be your replacement. Could you imagine training your replacement, but it's just the AI learning what you do so that you can fire you and pretend to be you?
Train the machine. Train the machine, everybody. I think that news for good reason is often the most conservative when it comes to adopting new technologies, said Mr. Peretti. That's okay, because most of what BuzzFeed produces isn't news, it's just garbage.
That's true.
So
you're in luck.
So the robots can create the garbage that humans were creating, and y'all can learn to. Maybe you could service the machines in some way. Like I said, you're going to be batteries for the Matrix. That's where we're headed. That's scary, isn't it? Anyway, we are going to wrap this one up. I think we're going to see a lot of journalists lose their jobs this year. We've been talking about it, and we're going to see a lot more now that AI is coming into the equation.
It's just a scary thing because, you know, as much as some of these journalists are basically, you know, NPCs and they're, you know, kind of like put their own agenda, they're sitting on a platform screaming about their own agenda. Having AI programmed that it can, you know, basically control the narrative is a very, very scary thing.
Yeah. Welcome to the 21st century, right? Mm-hmm. Gonna wrap it up?
Yeah.
Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. We'll talk later.
Bye.